Hey guys, welcome back. It's Wednesday, October 19th, 2022. We're going to be going over week 6 picks, recapping week 6 picks, and showing you week 7 NFL picks against the spread over under. Okay, so I don't have my little yellow paper like I like to show you for proof, but if you want to go to last week's video, you'll see my little paper with my picks on it. Okay, this is all about proof. This is all about evidence. Okay, so here we go. Our week 6, we went 7-3. Okay, 49ers did not cover. Broncos, Commanders, Giants, Patriots all covered the underdog. I told you how big I am on the underdogs. Okay, Colts did not get the under 42. Rams got the under 41. Now I added the G next to these. I talk about gut picks. I talk about non-system picks. Okay. So what that means is it's either a gut pick, which I'm really trying to stay away from. More likely it's a non-system pick, which means the system's evolving and it's something that we're looking at to see if we want to incorporate it into a system pick, but we got to see how the results do. So if there's a G next to it, it's not necessarily a bad pick or a gut pick. It's just not unproven yet, but for what I'm looking at, for what I'm identifying, it looks good. So our system picks went 1, 2, 3, 5, and 2, and our non-system picks went 2 and 1. I know on the paper it says Saints. I didn't like that one. They didn't cover. Took the Jaguars instead, who almost pushed last second touchdown from the Colts, but we're not playing horseshoe, so almost doesn't count. So 7-3 for the week. Nobody asked me, nobody watches my videos yet, but I kind of asked myself, do I incorporate the G bets into the overall results? Yes, I do. So we are 22-11 for the season, 22-11 against the spread over under since week 4. Okay, so that being said, I use 2 systems. I combine 2 systems to make my picks: the head-to-head system and our box system. And we combine both of these to get our super picks, and then we also use them individually. So right now our super picks are actually 1 and 2. Okay, we don't get too many of them. There's none coming up this week. Okay, in order for us to get a super pick, all 3 of these have to be green right here. And as of right now, there's not even any 2s. Okay, so last week, the Bucks we don't make any bets lower than minus 6.5, so we didn't touch the Bucks. Okay, so overall head to head was 7-3. Yep. Overall head-to-head was 7-3, and box was 7-6. Okay, so a really good week for head-to-head once again, and box is still above 100, so that's not bad. So you combine them both, we get really good numbers. Okay. The results for the week 7, the underdog. Once again, the underdog head-to-head picks, we are 11-3. Okay, and that has been our best result and continues to be our best results. What is a head-to-head underdog? Whenever this number is positive and whenever the line is positive. Okay, that's our head-to-head underdog. Okay, so week 6 up here, there was 4 picks that fell into that category. We went 3 and 1. Okay, looks like this week there's 3 picks in that category. We'll talk about that in a minute. Jumping to our over-under. We had 2 over-unders last week, which we talked about on the paper, the Colts and the Rams. Okay, the Rams hit the under, and the Colts did not. Why am I seeing 49ers there? Is that who they played? I'm sorry, right over here. Okay, so these are our week 6 results over-under. Colts did not cover, Rams did. We are 7-3 for the year. on our over-under. Really good numbers. We'll talk about our over-under picks in a bit. Okay, so those are our results from last week. Okay, head-to-head is 7-3, still doing really good. Our picks are, as I mentioned, our super picks are 1-2. Our 2-point picks are 7-2. How many 2-point picks do we have this week? We have 1, 2, 3 of them. No 3-point picks, as I mentioned. No super picks. 3 2-point picks. I'll explain why they're 2-point picks. 3 and those 3-point picks are underdog pluses, and then 2 over-unders, and then 5 more. And this is a new thing, okay? This is a new thing right here that I'm looking at, and that's why there's a G. Well, let's jump to our picks real quick. Okay, so here's our Week 7 picks, okay? Colts +3, Jets was +2. I'm sorry, was +3. Jets was +2, and now is down to +1. But we're going to still take the Jets, and I'll tell you why. 49ers +3 against the Chiefs. My gut is screaming not to do it, but I'm trying to leave my gut out of it. Okay, Seahawks over 51. That's a high number, 51, but it's still supposed to happen. The Chiefs under 48.5. That actually fell into the negative. Usually when the numbers fall into the negative, the over-under is less than the average score, which is 43. So why it's up at 48.5, I don't know, but we're finding a lot of value in that game. So the Chiefs under 48.5, a lot of value there. Now these next 5, you see the G next to them. That means those are not system picks, okay? But number one, the underdogs are huge this year. As you can see, all 8 of my spread picks are all underdogs this week, okay? Now I'll go ahead and explain right now why these are G picks. The reason those are G picks is because they don't have a positive head-to-head. And what did I tell you? You got to have a positive head-to-head and a positive line. But if you look at those games, Seahawks, Browns, Falcons, Bears, and Lions, okay, these are some high underdogs, okay? These are some high underdogs. And they're playing teams that have really low head-to-head. So, you know, let's see, who's playing the Ravens? Ravens are playing the Browns. So the Browns are at +6.5, right? Well, they're not supposed to win, but look at the head-to-head, +1. That means the Browns are supposed to lose by 0.5 point. If the Browns are supposed to lose by 0.5 point and the spread is +6.5, then why aren't we taking them? Who's another one? The Lions. Let's see, the Lions are playing the Cowboys, right? Lions are +7. Cowboys are at 7. That means the Cowboys are supposed to win by 3.5. If the Cowboys are going to win by 3.5 points and the Lions are +7, then why aren't we taking the Lions? Okay, so that is why all 5 of these down here fall under that category. They're not positive head-to-heads, but even though they're negative heads-to-head, they're really low, which means they might, you know, they're supposed to lose by a very low score. Well, look at these lines up around 6, 7, 8. Okay, so kind of an experiment, but a lot of research behind it. Okay, and I'm actually going to crunch the numbers before Sunday, so I'll make another video. I'll TikTok a video by Sunday. I started a TikTok today. I'm naming it H2H_betting head-to-head. So H2H_betting. That's my new TikTok. And I'm going to crunch those numbers for those low negative head-to-head, high underdog lines. Now, the beauty about my system, I keep track. I've got about 9 years of research all stored. So whenever I see something like that, and I'm like, wow, that's, you know, I wonder how that would have done. I can go back over the last 9 years on these Excel spreadsheets and move things around and crunch numbers together and organize them in formulas to see how that would have done if I had been doing this for the last 9 years. So that's the beauty of it. I'll be able to go back and get the percentages. I don't think they're going to be up in the 60s, 70s, like some of ours results are at right now. But hey, if we're up in the high 50s, that's good enough for me. Okay, so we talked about the head-to-head picks. The box, which is still doing a little over 500, not as good as head-to-head, but it's over 500. Okay, so that's a good supplemental system to use. Okay, so 7-6 last week. Now we're emphasizing 7 and above box scores, and those were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3. Okay, so the ones we're really looking at are 5 to 3. We don't really look at anything under 7. Look at all this red down here. Okay, that's a good reason why we don't mess with that. So jumping over to this week, how many box scores do we have over 7? We have 4. Seahawks 11, Jets 11, Colts Colts 9, Steelers 7. Okay, did we take any of those? Let's see. We don't necessarily take those because there's other factors. Box is a supplemental system. So there's other things that have to happen before we take it. So Seahawks, Jets, Colts, Steelers. We are taking the Seahawks, not taking the Jets, no Colts. Oh yeah, Colts. Yeah, Colts +3. Steelers, trying to stay away from the Steelers for different reasons. And I think one of those reasons, let's see, who are they playing? Steelers are playing the Dolphins. And if we look at head-to-head, look where the Dolphins are. The Dolphins are at a 33. Okay, we don't want to pick a team when their opponent is at a 33. The line on this Dolphins game is at -7. Actually, if this line was at -6.5, we'd be taking the Dolphins. I believe that line has moved up to -7.5. Now, going back to head-to-head, we got the Raiders with the highest head-to-head score this week. That means, according to our best system, the Raiders are going to dominate the Texans more than any other team this week. Okay. Does my gut say that? No, it doesn't. But I'm not allowed to listen to my gut. Okay. Now, if this Raiders line drops down to -6.5, then we're taking that as a 2-point pick. Okay. So we're keep an eye on the Raiders. If that drops to if you can get the Raiders at -6.5, take that. Okay. Overall, the top green box picks for the season are 7 and 4. Okay, so these box picks are doing really good. The head-to-head overall 1 and 2 on the super picks, and which is not good. It's a small sample size, and 7 and 2 on the 2-pointers. Okay, and then we mentioned already the positive underdogs are 11 and 3. That's huge. Okay, so that's the Colts, 49ers, and Jets. Those are our top picks this week. Colts, 49ers, and Jets. Okay, I think that covers everything. And as I mentioned, I have a TikTok now at the number 2 H_betting. Look for me there. I'll try to post. I don't know if any of you follow Bully the Board. I was talking to them yesterday. I've never done this before. I've never made YouTube videos. I've never, actually, I hate saying this. I was hoping I'd never have to say this in my life. I need to figure out a way to get more likes and more views. Okay. I never liked people who would, wanted more likes, but I think I'm doing it for a different reason. Okay. I'm not out there making a fool of myself or, doing weird things to get likes and views. I'm trying to, promote something that's a little more serious. Okay, so if you could check me out on TikTok and help me get more likes and views and maybe some advice, some feedback. I can't go live because you need 1,000 viewers. I think 1,000 followers. I think I have like 13 and 11 of them are family members. So I got to figure out what to do with that. So I want to make sure we talked about everything. Next week's picks. Okay, next week's picks. Here we are. If the Raiders fall under 6.5. If the Raiders fall down to -6.5, add that one. Okay. The Jets, I know the Jets went from +3 to +1, but that box score with the Jets is also 11. Okay. So we're still going to stay on the Jets. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you want any advice, maybe you have a pick that I didn't talk about and you want to know what I think about it. Okay, I've got some analytics and some results on this is where I get all my information to make my picks. I'm gonna wave it around because I don't want you to see. Okay, but if you want to know, hey, I think the Chargers this, or I think the the Broncos that, and I didn't talk about them, I'll let you know why I'm not picking them, what my numbers say, and maybe I have them favored, but just not favored enough to make that pick. So leave me a message or something, and I could respond to that. I wish I could go live. I can't. Hopefully one day I can, and we can have discussions more in depth why I do and don't make certain picks. Okay, so I've talked about the 2 over-unders. Over-under, we're 7-3 for the season, so that's doing really good also. Those underdogs, or my underdog picks, are going nuts. All 8 of my against the spread picks this week are underdogs, so we're really heavy on that. So we'll see how we do. Hopefully I see you on TikTok, and we'll meet up again next week to go over week 7's results.